Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Squared Circle Jerks podcast where we review GFW Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory 2017.
GSP.
That was chanted during the show because it was in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Hometown of GSP?
It is not the hometown, but it is kind of close. But anyways, he's Byron and I am Mike.
Not true.
It is true. Stop claiming otherwise.
Stop telling my real name. The FBI will find me.
I mean, they've already found you, let's be honest.
That's true.
So, this is our first Impact Wrestling pay-per-view review. It might be the last. We'll see.
We're bringing the heavy impact.
We had an 8-match card. It was not the 8 matches advertised, of course, because we lost the Rosemary Taya Valkyrie match, which we were really looking forward to, so that's disappointing.
Yeah, you put a female match on the card with Taya and Rosemary. I mean, I really haven't seen very much of Rosemary, so I don't know a ton of what to expect, but if anybody can work up to the speed of Taya, shit, that's going to be a match I want to see.
I thought it was going to be really good, so unfortunately, we still got Rosemary on the card, but not in a match. And we got a replacement match, or maybe they intended to give it to us anyways, of Tyson Dukes versus Taiji Ishimori.
Dukes.
They never said his.
Dukes.
They never said his first name, so I may be getting that wrong.
No, they did. I don't remember what it was.
I remember the last name. I got the card in front of me. Yeah.
Huh.
I said it's Taiji. I'm just saying I may have pronounced it incorrectly. So we opened up with the X Division 6-way match between Trevor Lee, Desmond Xavier, Garza Jr., Matt Sydal, Petey Williams, and Sanjay Dutt. Oh, this was pretty good.
Yep.
Kind of your stereotypical X Division spot match. Couple of botches, but nothing too terrible. No one died, so that's good.
No, I think, honestly, if I'm going to look at... I'm going to give Garza Jr. a pass because that dude's hardcore.
Dude clearly working injured, had no use of his one arm.
He lifted his arm up above his rib cage twice in the entire match. Once was to fling a shirt in somebody's face, and the other one I think was by accident. And that dude's hardcore. And he was obviously the weak link in the match, but not much you can do.
Yeah, pretty much. Matt Sydal probably had the worst performance of anyone. Couple of botches, couple of mistiming things. Just wasn't on his A game tonight.
Yeah, he went for the seated top turnbuckle Hurricane Rana. Where, was it Sanjay? No, it wasn't Sanjay. It was
Desmond Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier was seated on the top turnbuckle, and Sydal did the handspring, go in for the Rana maneuver, barely even got his feet anywhere near where they should have been. Never mind the fact that his feet should have been above, and he should have grabbed the guy on both sides of the head with the calves, and then done the Rana. But it was a bare fraction of a second of contact, and then immediately pulled back, which left Xavier to look like an asshole. And I can't remember what else. There was at least 2 more of the times where Sydal was just not...
A couple of just striking exchanges and stuff where clearly not going as intended.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what was going on there. Maybe he got some of that bad synth weed. Or maybe he got up to Canada, got some of that really good stuff, and he was fucked.
So, thumbs up to Garza Jr. working with one arm. Thumbs down to Matt Sydal for a pretty unimpressive matchup for him. Thumbs in the middle for the rest, really?
Pretty much. It was fine. No big deal. Trevor Lee did a really great job of getting himself over as a heel, trying to start a USA chant in Ottawa. Just general things he was doing were really good for just your basic in-town heel work.
Petey Williams, of course, super over, and the match ends with Petey hitting the Canadian Destroyer on Desmond Xavier, but Trevor Lee knocking him out of the ring, and then getting the pin with a lot of tights. Holy moly.
He grabbed like the small of the back and folded them up for the pin, and then grabbed some tights, and then grabbed some deeper tights. He went for like all the tights. He's like, I gotta get me some butt meat. I gotta get some butt meat before I can go home.
Pretty much. Then we went on to the Ishimori Dukes match that we were referencing before. Ishimori win.
Dukes of Earl Dukes. Sorry, what?
Pretty good match. They had an early kind of lack of communication, botchy type moment, but they worked through it like, professionals do. Because Dukes has been in the game for a real long time, and, I mean, the other guy works for Pro Wrestling Noah, enough said.
Tyson Dukes, a.k.a. Tyson Moody, from Miramichi, New Brunswick, Canada. Currently residing in Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah, he works with Border City Wrestling a lot.
A.k.a. El Tigre Jr., a.k.a. the Muay Thai Kid, a.k.a. Tyson Dukes. Weighing in at 193 pounds, standing 5'10", trained by Scott D'Amore, Joey Legend, and Terry Taylor, of all fucking people.
Terry Taylor.
The Red Rooster himself.
Red Rooster. This was fine. It was 4 minutes and 50 seconds, so not even really what I would consider a match, per se.
Yeah. With the first appearance of, what was it, Laurel Van Ness?
Laurel Van Ness is the name, yes.
And she was a straight party hoe, and it was fabulous.
Yeah, she does a really good job with that character. Probably because, I'm not going to lie, it's not really a character. But, anyway, she's out in the crowd, sitting on people's lap and stuff, just making a general
I'd be fine with
2-degree nuisance of herself. Then we had Alberto El Patron, and the show kind of took the show took a dip here. I will start with the good stuff. Patron's emotion and delivery is fantastic on any promo he's basically ever done, to be honest.
Yes.
But he was asked to fill a lot of time without a lot of actual material here.
Yeah, he got worked up to the point where he forgot what words to use in English, which is perfectly understandable because English is his second or third language. I'm assuming I don't know how much work he's done in Japan, but I'm assuming he speaks probably better Japanese than English. I
think his English is better than his Japanese, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that could be. I mean, it might even be a coin flip. Who knows? But he would get himself worked up to the point where he broke down and wouldn't come up with words correctly, and I think the spot with him and JB was kind of on the fly. I got that kind of sense.
I got that kind of sense that JB either was doing a real good job of selling that he didn't know what was happening, or he didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, I think it got to the point where, I'm completely out of material. What can I do? JB's a professional. JB will help me. JB, I'm coming for you. And so he went after JB, Jeremy Borash, for those that don't know. And so he went after JB, and JB played that fucking perfectly. Yep. If he would have been more cowardly, it would have been bullshit. If he would have stood up to him more than he did, it would have been bullshit. He stayed professional. He kind of sat his ground, but was still agitated and out of sorts. And so, yeah, no, it was... Borash fucking did a great job.
Yep. Josh Matthews offered absolutely nothing, because Josh Matthews never does.
No, I'm not, as a commentary on Josh Matthews, I had heard a shit ton about how fucking garbage Josh Matthews is. Rightly so. I've seen him commentate before. But he played to his strengths tonight. He basically shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And he wasn't as bad as Booger T. He wasn't as lame as Otunga. He wasn't as ridiculous and out of control as Michael Cole. He wasn't as repetitive as Percy Jackson. So he kind of was okay. And I was prepared for a giant shit show on commentary. Didn't get that, and I was fine with it.
Yeah, it felt like he wasn't really there, except during the AAA versus Impact match, which we'll get to. Yeah. Next up, we had Abyss versus Grado. We all said prior to this had an Abyss-Grado confrontation backstage where Grado called him Joseph and Abyss basically threatened to kill him in a nutshell.
Yeah, I thought was I've never honestly. I'm going to be honest with you right now, right here. I have never seen that before in pro wrestling. I have never seen two people who were going to have a match that wasn't just a match. This had consequences, which I was not aware of.
It's a Monsters Ball match with a man's visa on the line.
Yeah, Grado, being a Scottish citizen, needs a visa to work in the States. So this pay-per-view taking place in Ottawa, not so much in the States, which we'll get into. Remind me before we go on to the next match. But this, I have never seen them have two wrestlers have a face-to-face that was just a face-to-face. You get ambushes, you get bullshit, you get little taunting, I'm the heel, I've got to get over as a heel because I can't do it in the ring. I've got to get over as a heel before we even have a match because I need to set things up because I'm garbage. You get shit like that where you get like the face being the overcooked dry white meat baby face before they get into the thing. You get stuff like that. I've never seen what they did with two wrestlers before. That was genuinely refreshing.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. The only thing I will point out is that I don't like how TNA kind of goes back and forth on whether we're supposed to be aware that Joseph Park and Abyss are the same person.
Yeah.
And I was also disappointed that we had no James Mitchell. Because he had been involved in the build-up to this pay-per-view match, and to have him not there was a bit disappointing.
Well, you know what? I was ultra disappointed because somebody I trust swore to me that I would get some Sinister Minister, and it didn't happen.
I apologize.
But I think he's got some stuff going on in his past that maybe he can't get across the border, so...
It's probably fairly possible. We know that's why Taryn Terrell was originally pulled off this card as well. Although she also ended up leaving Impact. So then we had the Abyss and Grado Monsters Ball. Before we get into the match, I just want to say this storyline's kind of stupid. Because... the storyline is in a nutshell that TNA is incompetent.
Yes.
That they have a Scottish citizen who's been working for them for some time, and they have allowed his visa to expire when they are his employer and should be able to file for a work visa for him.
Correct.
That being said, if we ignore that bit, it's been pretty well done. So onwards to the match. This was but far from the best Monsters Ball we've ever had. If you're asking me what the best one is, it's Abyss versus Sabu. That was fantastic.
I will try to track that down. That sounds like a thing I'm interested in now.
Yeah. Or the multi-man one where they had Raven versus Rhino versus Jeff Hardy versus Abyss was also really good.
I will try to track that down as well. This seems good. Wait, how high was Jeff Hardy?
This was when Jeff Hardy got thrown out of the WWE for drugs.
Okay.
And went to TNA the first time.
So he's willing to probably eat a lot of spots.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Go on.
Anyways, this was okay. We had some barbed wire boards. We had some staple gun stuff. We had a cheese grater, which was pretty cool.
Cheese grater to the crotch.
Yeah, cheese grater to Abyss's balls. And Laurel Vanessa eventually gets involved. Now, her role in the story is she's been left at the altar twice in TNA. Once by Braxton Sutter and once by Grado. And this was after Grado learned that she's a Canadian citizen, so, she wouldn't fix his visa problem. And the marriage was never about any kind of attraction or love. It was I need to stay in the country. So she comes down, she interferes, lights go out with her holding Janice, which is Abyss's big board with nails in it. And Rosemary comes out. And Rosemary miss her, has a little face-off with Abyss, kind of joins forces with Abyss, but ends up missing Abyss when Grado ducks. And then she eats a... was it it was thumbtacks, right, that she ate?
Yeah, did he black hole slam her?
He black hole slammed her onto the thumbtacks, yeah.
It was sick!
Grado loses the match after he eats a black hole slam onto barbed wire, and Abyss pins him. So Grado is going to be deported, I imagine.
Well, here's my thing. There's rumors that I've heard a few times that they're going to permanently be leaving the Florida thingamabob, and they're going to be moving. This is
up to Ottawa, yeah.
Up to Ottawa. So this is not only is this like a pay-per-view, this is essentially an audition. Like, can we make this work here? And if that's the case, and in kayfabe to this match, if he can't work in the States anymore, then he's still good.
That is true. That would be some clever booking.
Yeah.
Then we had a Team Impact little interview where Ethan Carter is refusing to say anything and, teases dissension within the Team Impact ranks.
Yeah.
So we move on to Team AAA, which is El Hilo del Fantasma, Pagano, and Tejano versus Ethan Carter III, Eddie Edwards, and James Storm. Quick rant. I'm pretty sure Josh Matthews did not know which one Pagano was and which one was Phantasma.
I can back you up on that one.
Because every time one of them would be doing something, one, he at least on 3 occasions did identify the incorrect one, and when he did get it right, he would pause as if he was looking at his notes, which is really, really kind of dumb, because it's like, here's all you need. Phantasma, mask, Pagano, face paint.
See, I would like to point out for the fans of the show that Pagano has been given a nickname in Mexico. He is El Rey Extremo.
Deathmatch specialist. Pretty good wrestler, actually, for a deathmatch specialist as well. Normally they're kind of sloppy, but he was sharp. Probably the weakest worker on his team, but, solid team.
Indeed.
So, the story of the match was that Ethan Carter originally would not tag in. Eddie Edwards would try and tag him in a couple times, and James Storm would as well, and he would refuse it. And then, towards the middle part of the match, he finally did get the hot tag and go nuts and just destroy people, showing everyone what Ethan Carter's got, and WWE, what were you thinking?
Pretty much. I would like to also bring to your attention that since I'm still on Pagano's Wikipedia page, he has an MMA win from back in 2014 where he knocked a motherfucker out in the first round.
Oh, nice.
Indeed.
This match was actually really good. Like, this was the first, I think, properly very good match on the card, which makes sense. There's 6 very good workers in the ring, and it's going to give you something. Eddie Edwards ate the spot of the match when he got package tombstoned by Pagano into the ring apron. And that was pretty... it took him out from pretty much the rest of the match. Couple dive spots, some good stuff. Ethan Carter III did your favorite double low blow spot.
Yeah, boy! Ethan Carter III is my new boy. He is... obviously a disciple of Toriano, and therefore cannot be a bad wrestler.
He's quite a good wrestler. With some flaws, of course, but, a guy that WWE, I think, gave up way, way too early on. And
they do that.
They do that. Team Impact eventually did win when James Storm gets the pin on... It was Pagano he pinned, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he hit the last call on someone and pinned them.
Yeah, I don't... Was it Pagano or Phantasma?
I'm trying to remember if it was Pagano or Phantasma.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Carter was in the ring, did some work, went over, they teased a little tension, gave Storm the tag and said, "Take his fucking head off!" And
And he
Storm
did.
that. Yeah, it was good. We followed instructions. Very nice.
Had some beer celebration afterwards. Teased a little tension in there. My only real gripe...
Good beer off the top turnbuckle spot on Eddie Edwards.
Yeah. My one gripe is that the tension they tease between Ethan Carter and James Storm specifically, but also Eddie Edwards too a little bit, it never came to anything. So
yeah,
bit disappointing in that regard.
Well, maybe they're just kind of working a new angle where it's going to be, more smooth sailing, and you're going to have like a really hard nut to crack. You're going to have a good solid faction.
Could be. Then we had the 51-50 street fight for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. Before the match, we saw an unidentified member of LAX had been taken out with a pipe and draped with a Mexican flag. This was never confirmed, but basically the insinuation is it was homicide.
Laying some pipe.
And we go on to Latin American Exchange, Ortiz and Santana with Conan versus Ohio versus everything, pardon me,
Everything.
Dave Christ and Jake Christ, the former Irish Airborne.
I believe it's Ohio versus electricity.
Ohio versus proper grooming, because God, they look like junkies. I was a big fan of the Irish Airborne. It's probably close to a decade ago now.
Yeah, I would say. What was it? They weren't in CZW, were they?
They did work in CZW some, and ROH some, and PW. They did pretty much all of the big American independents.
Oh yeah, I see. I'm looking at their shit now. The Flying Mendoza Brothers, a.k.a. the Irish Airborne, a.k.a. Jake and Dave Christ. You know what? I never actually saw them wrestle and never heard anybody say their names out loud. I always assumed it was Christ, which would have been even better.
Mm-hmm.
A.k.a. Lotus and Crazy J, a.k.a. Ohio is number 4 Killers, a.k.a. Ohio versus Everything, a.k.a. The Ring Rydas, Rydas.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, kill yourself.
Looks like they've tried, especially Jake. Oh,
man, lay off the heroin, the meth, the whatever it is. Have worked. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this right now.
Okay.
They have worked for the following promotions. Buckle up, motherfuckers. 2CW, A1, AAW, AIW, ALXC, APWA, ARW, Beyond, BCP, BJW, BPW, Chikara, CHAPW, or CAPW, CAPW, CWE, CZW, Dreamwave, D1W/PDW, Dragon Gate USA, because I know what those initials stand for. Hold on, I gotta breathe. EPW/Rockstar Pro, FCP, FIP, Florida Internet, or was it Florida Independent?
Full Impact Wrestling.
Full Impact.
Full Impact Pro, pardon me.
Roddy Strong Championship. Oh yeah. FNW, Firestorm Pro, GFW/Impact, current. Hybrid Wrestling, HWA, Infinity Pro, IPW, IWA, EC, IWA, MS, IWC, JCW. That explains a lot, actually. MOW, MPW, NOW, OCW, PCW, PWG, PWO, PWR, PWX, ROH, our Remix Pro, RWA, SNPW, SWE, The Crash, War, WC, WSU, WWR, WXW, X-Site, XC, Midwest, and, drumroll please, XICW.
It's a long list.
Trained by Bill Kovaleski and Matt motherfucking Stryker.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm gonna have a drink.
I'll take it. Disappointing thing, Diamante, the female member of LAX, did not come out, which makes me think maybe she couldn't get across the border.
Erwin.
The match was good. It was a plunder match. I mean, a lot of tables breaking, a lot of like death-defying stunts and so on. So if no one got hurt, mission accomplished. Looked like OVE was going to lose their titles until Jeremiah Crane, aka Sami Callihan,
Your boy,
came out and just wrecked shop. He freedom powdered Conan, destroyed Ortiz and Santana. And yeah.
Did he thumb in the eye? Who did he thumb in the eye?
That was Santana.
Okay, just fucking face palm with a little extra English on it.
Yeah, and he hit Ortiz put Ortiz through the table with a pile driver that did not look safe in any way, shape, or form.
No. Who did he suplex onto the ladder?
That
Santana?
was Santana.
Yeah, Jesus. It caused more fucking death and destruction in 1 minute than the entire match.
Pretty much, but we love Sami Callihan, so we're
correct. Didn't get a pump kick, but everything
didn't get a
else
pump
was great.
kick.
Didn't get a pump kick, didn't get a spit take.
I will say, it's kind of interesting, because as much as OVE kind of started this match as heels, or as faces, they kind of ended as the heels. Because they're just beating the crap out of LAX afterwards.
They went from like faces to the total heels, and then Sami Callihan hit the mic, and the people of Ottawa were kind of like, you know what, he's kind of right. He's kind of right. We're good with that.
So, interesting feud. I don't think this is over. And we'll enjoy it. Then we had the three-way match between Gail Kim, Sienna, and Allie for Sienna's knockout title.
Three-way dance.
Was a little disappointed they didn't just throw Rosemary into this match, because it was supposed to be a four-way originally with Taryn Terrell.
Yeah.
I get that having like three faces and one heel probably isn't an ideal dynamic, but I still would have given Rosemary something more to do on the show than it be part of the Grado Abyss thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I was okay with it because they had at least the ties to the former stable that Abyss and she was in. So that made good storytelling sense. But
sure.
From a match standpoint, yeah. Although these three, I would have given them more time to work.
They got less than 10 minutes for a three-way match, which was a bit weak.
But, I mean, I don't know.
This was the second shortest match on the card.
Yeah, but you had like a 6-man, and then you had a giant tag team championship fiasco, and then this, and then after that you got like a tag match, a cage tag match, and then you got the championship match. So I guess at some point you got to sort of put some. Yeah, I don't know where you'd cut the fat on that one.
Well, the Patron promo. It's the answer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah, the Patron promo can go right out the window. I guess you can cut a lot out of the 6-man match. You don't need 15 and a half minutes for that.
Especially because the Patron. My problems with the Patron promo, we should have gone over this, is number one is that his conclusion was that a Mexican would hold the title, which he couldn't make come true.
I missed that part. I didn't hear that part.
I swear I heard that part. Maybe I just.
The last thing he said was it was going to be like he was going to do something and it was going to be spectacular. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I didn't hear him say anything about a Mexican will definitely hold the title tonight. I don't remember that part.
I swear I did. Although I suppose technically he did hold the title, but just didn't actually have it. But the other problem I have is his interference in the main event would have been even more spectacular if they did not have him cut the promo.
Yeah, if he wasn't even announced, like he was never announced for the show.
He was.
Oh, was he?
Which I thought personally was a mistake.
Yeah, it's a mistake. It's a giant mistake.
Yeah. Save the surprise. I think it might have been the internet broke the story that he was going to be on instead of official press release or something.
Listen, I
but
expect this
it
kind
was
of fuck
known.
ups. I expect this kind of fuck up from a WWE who can't keep their dick in the pants for longer than 19 seconds. But from a lower, less covered Fed, I demand, not even request, I demand better kayfabe because you need to build an audience.
Mhm.
And unless you're WWE, who apparently will do everything except show you the practice matches beforehand or follow everybody around backstage while they discuss how they're going to do their matches to perform them and then publish them 3 weeks ahead of time.
And then punish and fire people for breaking kayfabe. That's the other hilarity.
Oh god, it's so dumb. If you're not covered the way, or if you don't hang your fucking cock and balls out, or vagina, whatever you like, if you don't hang your genitals out like the WWE does, uselessly, I demand that you keep better kayfabe, that you don't advertise that somebody who's not even on the card is gonna fucking be there. What the shit?
Yeah, I would agree with that all the way. I would have done that, and I would have also kept him from doing the promo and had him interfere in the main event. But
Yeah.
there you go. Anyways, on the three-way, the three-way was pretty damn good. These three women know how to work. Allie, aka Cherry Bomb, has kind of grown into her character because when she originally came in, she was a wrestler who was supposed to act like she couldn't wrestle.
So
Kind of like a female Eugene in a way, yeah. She wasn't specifically supposed to be retarded, but she was exceedingly naive and ditzy and not really a wrestler. So
I think that's a good gimmick.
Kind of
I still, to this day, I didn't have a problem with Eugene because I didn't think it was poking fun at mental illness or.
I think at times it was, to be honest.
Yeah, but there
were a few poor taste moments.
Idiot. But I don't think he was intentionally poking fun. I think he was actually highlighting the fact that people with mental disabilities, aka people who are retarded mentally, don't get your titties in a twist. I think that actually went further to highlight the fact that people with disabilities can do shit. Whether Vince, and it's quite obvious, Vince meant that never to happen. I think Vince would poke a retarded kid with a stick and laugh really hard. Because he's kind of an idiot. But I think that gimmick went a long way. Looking back on things, not knowing what I know now, with Nick Dinsmore being a goddamn amazing wrestler who just never got to wrestle because it's WWE.
Yep.
The rage. I think that type of gimmick is good. And with Allie, aka Cherry Bomb, playing that up, dude, that thing's got legs. As a matter of fact, I'd have her play her dumber than she apparently plays her now.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't disagree with this. The only problem I've ever had with the Allie character is they do these like kind of trying to break kayfabe segments where they have someone go, like, you know, here's my gym workout and like kind of tour their real life sort of thing. And they had Allie do it once where she would act like her character at the start and then turn into basically the girl behind the character while she's doing her workout. Like I do, she's like stating the specifics about this is leg day, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a bunch of lunges, and it's like, make up your mind.
Yeah.
She's either a ditz or she's not a ditz. Take your pick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's going to be when that character gets into physical situations, whether it's a workout or whatever, and she's not book smart, but if you push the wrong switch, whether it's competition, whether it's I can lift more than you, I can run faster than you, I can beat you in a match. If you push that competitive switch It doesn't matter how many books you've read. It should, but it doesn't. And it doesn't matter, like, how much shit you know. If you're a great physical athlete, that switch goes on and you kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should be.
But yeah. Like I said, I liked when the character came in, I liked it. I just think that along the way, there were a couple of missteps taken that just shouldn't have been taken. Like, not missteps in hindsight, they were like missteps in foresight, which weren't great. For example, they've for the last couple of months been making a big deal about how she always dreamed of being a wrestler. That wasn't her character when she came in. She had to be forced to wrestle, like it was a punishment for her.
Blech.
So, good match. Gail Kim really over in Canada, of course. Ali really over in Canada, because they're both Canadians. And their faces. So that's good work.
Word.
Nothing I really want to highlight in terms of spots. It's just really, really good. They let Sienna work some power spots, and they let the girls do a lot of work, and Gail Kim got the win.
Yeah, this is one of the best female matches. If you want to get down to specifics, one of the best female matches I've seen all year. End of story.
Really good finish, too, with the top rope eat defeat from Gail Kim to Sienna for the pin.
Damn, that was good.
And the only miscue in the entire match is Sienna's got Ali and Gail Kim down, and I think she tried to pin Gail, and the referee kind of had to say, no, pin Ali, because Ali's shoulders were actually down, and Gail Kim's shoulders were on Ali.
Yeah.
Or it might have been the other way around.
And Sienna was like, motherfucker, I'm on top of both of them. Fucking count.
Then we moved on to the tag team match. Lashley and King Mo versus Moose and Stephan Bonnar. I'm just going to throw this out here. Stephan Bonnar was born to be a pro wrestler, and it's a shame he didn't do it like 5 to 10 years earlier.
Agreed.
Because his MMA career kind of, like, it's been peeled out for a number of years. Never really lived up to the hype off of The Ultimate Fighter, to be honest.
We should get on Twitter and congratulate and support Mr. Stephan Bonnar.
Indeed. We will do that. Bonnar didn't do a lot in this match, but what he did was quite good. Had a hell of a powerbomb on...
yeah, dude. That was awesome.
It was an awesome powerbomb. He did some MMA stuff with King Mo, which looked good because they're MMA fighters. Except King Mo's selling on the triangle. That kind of bugged me because he's like screaming when he's like, he's like postured up and like screaming, and it's like, dude, there's no pressure on your arm right now. You're posturing up to relieve the pressure. There is no danger here.
Yeah, Queen Moo is possibly the worst at everything that he's ever done, ever.
It's not the worst. There's really good wrestler. I mean amateur wrestler, not pro wrestler.
Yeah.
He didn't bring a lot to this match. He got color. Lashley and Moose obviously did most of the work and did really well. Moose is freaking impressive.
Yeah.
Incredibly athletic. He's taken to wrestling really, really well. He even did a crossbody off the top of the cage when he had to climb back in after Dan Lambert locked him out. Dan Lambert actually does a pretty good job actually for a guy who's actually the leader of an MMA gym. He does a pretty decent job being the smarmy manager in pro wrestling.
I wonder how far off that is.
How much truth went into that character? We had three ATT, and I'm giving in quotation mark members because 2 of them I don't think are. I think they're wrestlers. But Colby Covington is actually a fighter in the UFC. They get in there, but you kind of notice like the wrestling stuff is left to the 2 guys who are not Colby Covington, and Covington just does like kind of basic stuff. And it's a really good match. The ATT guys win, so the feud continues. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Stephan Bonnar can do in the cage. Or not in the cage, but in the ring. Maybe on a one-on-one match at some point.
He sold like $1 million.
Oh, tremendously great.
He had the best powerbomb I've seen in years. Although it might have been a little more stiff than you'd like.
It was better than Josh Barnett's powerbomb.
He did.
Which I'm pretty sure killed the guy.
Yeah, that's probably true. Bonnar did everything right. I can't think of a single moment during the match where he did something that was not selling correctly or executing moves poorly, or I can't think of a single thing he did wrong. I can't think of a single thing he did that wasn't at least really good.
Oh.
He was awesome. I mean, for the part that he played in the match, he did an exceptional job. And I really hope this is a new beginning for him. I hope that he just has a whole new career. Because I want to see the American Psycho stare deep into the camera and say a couple of things, go out to the ring, and fucking murder people.
Yup, I'm down with that. Nice to see an omoplata in professional wrestling.
Dude, he went for triangle, armbar, omoplata, Kimura. He did all of the things. He did some Thai knees. I think he got an elbow in, didn't he?
Couple elbows, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he did. They did a bunch of ground transition work. They did. Did he kick? He kicked Queen Moo in the legs and the body,
and the body a couple times.
And I was saying during the match, I'm like, Queen Moo is a fucking idiot. He is going to get something that he considers too stiff, and he's going to unleash, and he's going to get a receipt. That didn't happen, and I was kind of a little disappointed, because I think that Lashley would have eaten him for breakfast if he did some bullshit like that. Didn't take that into account.
Then we had our main event of the evening. Impact champion, global champion, Eli Drake versus Johnny Impact.
Indeed.
And this was a really, really good match. More because of Johnny Impact, but I want to be clear here. I love the work of Eli Drake in this match too, and the positioning of him.
Eli Drake, I'm not familiar with. This is the first time I've seen Eli Drake ever wrestle in the first place. And he did really good work. He did better work with Johnny Mundo, Nitro, Ace, Impact, Harrigan, Hennigan, Julio, whatever.
Morrison, Morrison you missed, and Blaze.
Whatever. Johnny 420 Blaze it. He did better work with Johnny than I've seen 90% of the people in Lucha Underground.
Yep. I'd say this was up there with any match that he's had with anyone short of maybe Puma.
Yeah, he's up there with Puma.
And also just I like the booking of this, like, because you got Eli Drake, who's a champion who does cheat to win and retain his title, but he doesn't seem weak in doing it, which is really key. Like, he seems like he can hold his own, and Chris Adonis is there just as a insurance policy, as opposed to, for example, the Reign of Terror of Triple H, where it seemed like he needed Evolution to win the match. And that's, I think that's perfect for a heel. Like, it gives the face something to overcome that isn't just numbers game. Which, pretty fantastic match.
Would like to bring your attention that Eli Drake has wrestled, presumably in Mexico, as El Hijo del Trump. Also has wrestled under the name of Dick Rick.
Dick Rick. Jesus. I admit, I there was a time when I thought Eli Drake wasn't really going to turn into anything, and I was definitively wrong. So, congratulations. The match ends when Alberto El Patron comes out to interfere. He kills both men, and gives Eli Drake one. I think it was Drake ate the chair shot, right?
No, that was Mundo.
Okay, yeah. He hits Johnny Impact with a chair, and the chair breaks. Like a hell of a chair shot.
The backrest pad just flew right off.
Mm-hmm. And he puts Eli Drake on top of him, pulls the unconscious referee in, and the ref counts the pinfall, and Eli Drake retains the title. And this would have had 5 times more impact if they hadn't have had him come out earlier. Now, I will say there was one surprise guest who came out, and it was really good. And we forgot about this. but we're going to cover it now.
Oh, yeah!
Jimmy Jacobs!
Jimmy Jacobs! Oh, I'm fired from the WWE. Oh, guess what? 2 weeks later, you can eat my fucking balls, you dumb corporate shill whores.
This was really well done. He came over to Josh Matthews and Jeremy Borash, who are both like dismissive of him. You don't work here. I don't work here. Hey?
Oh, that's cute.
It's cute. We'll see about that. So Jimmy Jacobs, hopefully doing something creative with Impact, because apparently he's a very creative guy. Apparently he's got some of the best parts of Chris Jericho's act over in the last couple of years.
Yep.
And a number of other people. So here's hoping.
Yeah, apparently the whole Festival of Friendship was his idea.
Mm-hmm. So I would, TNA Impact, Global Force Wrestling, whatever you want to call them, Bound for Glory 2017. I'd give it 2 thumbs up. I think you should really go out of your way to watch Eli Drake versus Johnny Impact and Lashley and King Mo versus Moose and Bonnar. I think the ladies match is definitely something to look out for. I think the Team Impact versus Team AAA match was also quite good. And the tag match was actually pretty good, although a little more standard, kind of hardcore fare. Nothing that you need to go out of your way to see, but if you happen to be watching the show, don't fast forward through it.
Yeah, the Abyss versus Grado match really suffered from the fact that they seemed to take, out of the 10.5 minutes, it seemed like 7 minutes of that was set up. Like they were rearranging furniture for a long time.
The Monsters Ball match, and I was talking to you about this while we were watching the pay-per-view, I think would really benefit from actually not being in the arena.
Yeah.
Being something more than a street fight.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, that one wasn't very good. Dukes versus Ishimori is, not really even a match under 5 minutes. And the 6-man wasn't great. But the other 5 matches on the card are definitely worth a watch. Skip the Patron promo. You're not gonna really miss anything other. It's basically they fired an innocent man in a nutshell. Is the promo. So yeah, that you can skip, and you could probably do without the Grado Abyss match and the. The ending of the Grado Abyss match. Watch, because that's.
I like the Grado Abyss match. It's just that it's way too much of it was setting up furniture. Like, guys, you should really have this stuff figured out ahead of time. Come on.
But yeah, 2 thumbs up on this. And you have any thoughts you want to add in closing?
Not too much. If this is their WrestleMania of the year, they did an okay job. I would not hold this up to Ultima Lucha or Battle of Los Angeles or or Wrestle Kingdom or I'm not sure what the ROH WrestleMania-esque thing is, but I wouldn't put it this is obviously not a giant match of the year candidate. This isn't it, but it's a solid pay-per-view. I'll give you that. And
I don't really expect too much more than that out of Global Force Wrestling or Impact Wrestling. It is still kind of trying to find its way into this Anthem era of what it really wants to be, and they're having some serious money problems, so it is what it is.
This may be the first and last Bound for Glory I ever see.
And also with the whole changing of venue to Canada, they, I think, kind of screwed themselves over because they had a bunch of people who couldn't get into the country.
Yeah, it's called knowledge. You should probably have some of that.
Yeah, we lost Taryn Terrell from the card because of that. We lost, not that it's a massive loss, but we did lose Jim Cornette from the card and the company. And I assume you lost Diamante from the tag match because I assume she couldn't get into the country because I can't think of another reason for her not to be there.
I would agree.
I also do actually kind of question whether Homicide was there because, we got the whole, he got taken out bit, but I think Homicide has some legal problems of his own that I don't think allows him to cross the border, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate. That's a good move on their part.
So, some things going on, but like, you know what? I enjoyed almost every match on the card, which is more than I can say for most pay-per-views this year.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly WWE hasn't replicated that success rate.
God, no. I can't think of a single WWE pay-per-view that was good.
And, I mean, it's not New Japan level, it's not ROH level, it's not PWG level, but it's probably better than anyone else. Well, not Lucha Underground either, but probably better than anyone else. And that's right now what I think you can shoot for if you're Impact and hit the goal. So looking forward to some more Impact stuff. I'm going to keep watching the weekly TV show, see if it's good. And if it's good, we might make this into a thing.
Yeah.
At least cover the pay-per-views or something.
Yeah, I may tune in next week and see what's going on. I noticed that ROH was available, so I might watch that as well, because I like ROH wrestling. I just, God damn it, can't get a hold of it that frequently.
Yeah, the ability to get it is still a little bit weak on a weekly TV basis.
Apparently it's quite available in the States, but not
so much up here. Well, they're owned by an American TV corporation, so that's your answer. So that's all we got. Hope you enjoyed us blabbering on for 50 plus minutes on the pay-per-view. And we'll talk to you sometime next week with our WWE review and maybe another debate. Until then.
ECW.
Until then, get off of Byron's lawn.
ECW.